Hello dear viewers, today I want to share a little bit detailed information how to obtain and what documents you need for a long-term work permit in Namibia. Okay, so Namibian long-term work permits is the topic of this video, the good news is Namibia offers one category. It's issued usually for 2 years and it can be renewed by another 2 years. There is no special skills, extraordinary skills, intercompany transfer or something like that. They have one category and the requirements are not super surprising, but I think the important part is that there is a local labor market testing. It's a compulsory step, and the first step usually is an advertisement of the job of at least 2 weeks in 3 national newspapers. So the good news is we can help you with that, and the other good news is there are not so many national newspapers in Namibia, so the 3 are covering basically the whole republic, but that's beside the point. So 2 weeks, an advertisement, and then after that one needs to approach the Department of Labor. They go into their database and then they say, well, we can find somebody or we can't find somebody. The interesting part is that the latter part, the Department of Labor, works in Namibia very, very well. If you compare this to South Africa, it's fast, it's efficient. They also admit that they don't have everybody on the database, or they can't always find local talent. So that step in practice actually works quite well and quite fast, and our office in Namibia or our office obviously in South Africa can do this for you. Okay, so that's pretty much the important part of it. Okay, what other documents do you need? Okay, and I think I'm going to separate between maybe the private documents and the one from the employer, and I don't going to give you a long comprehensive list of everything. I want to focus on the most important ones, which might be a bit more surprising than the usual. Okay, you need a passport photo and you need a passport. So number one, I think we need a comprehensive CV. That's very important. We need a police clearance certificate. Interesting enough, they want a Namibian police clearance certificate. Well, but if you have never been to Namibia, that makes no sense. I know, but that's a requirement and we can obviously assist with that, but that's an important part, okay? They need a medical, radiological thing, obviously application forms. I mean, that's all a given. But I think importantly from the Namibian employer, that's really important. They want to see that the employer is compliant. So there needs to be a letter of good standing with the Inland Revenue Services. There needs to be a valid certificate of the Social Security certificate, and then the Employment Equity Compliance Certificate also must be in order. Now this is all national legislation, there's nothing surprising, but they want to see that the employer is compliant, okay? So that's really important. And then of course they want to have a motivation letter. Why do you want to employ that foreigner, okay? And why can't you find others? That's really important. We need an employment contract, of course. We need a CV, as I said, and then the company registration documents as well. So that's pretty normal. I think on the private side, on the individual side, important is that you need reference letters, at least 2. Okay, so the CV is not enough. We need some reference letters as well, and then the usual, obviously, private documents which are required for any immigration. Okay, the processing time, so submitted, place of submission is in Namibia, okay, in Windhoek. They have a new shiny building there. It actually works very well, very nice to go. For people living in other countries, obviously our office will do it for you. So they do allow third-party submissions. They do allow that we basically send the application to our Namibian office. They compile the whole application and submit it. And then they also collect the outcome. Current processing times are between 8 to 10 weeks for long-term permits, short-term shorter. And the cost, maybe you might also be interested, the government fees are 5,200 Namibian dollars, which is the equivalent to the rand. That's the government application fee when they issue the work permit. Okay, so when you get it, you need to pay it. There's an application fee from 80 rand, but that we usually cover in terms of the process. So overall, I have to say, when I compare it to South Africa, in particular to the general work, but also the critical skills, yes, there is quite a long list of documents, but in particular, the labor market testing really works well. And in general, if the application is professionally prepared and one really ticks all the boxes and makes sure the motivational letter is strong and in line with what the company needs and the economy needs, then usually they get granted. Okay, so that's really the good news. So there's way less discretion, way lower rejection rates than, for instance, in South Africa. Okay, so if you have further questions for the long-term work permit in Namibia, please contact us, our office in South Africa, our office in Windhoek, and I'm sure we can assist you with that. Okay, bye-bye.